Hello everyone, how you doing? You're very welcome to this week's Rugby View with myself, Aidan Raftery, and as always from Craig's Rugby Club, we have the president of the club, Adrian Leddy. Hello Adrian, how are you? Are you well?
Well, Aidan, it's absolutely beautiful out there today. Not a cloud in the sky. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
It's great to see great rugby weather.
yeah, and a bit of heat back in it again, to dry up the grounds as long as they don't get too hard now.
That's it, and it's great to have you on board as always, and plenty to talk about. But we'll start as we do every week with Craig's Rugby Club, and we'll start off with the mini rugby section of the club.
Yeah. Well, mini rugby is really wrapped up now for the season, and they will have a number of Uh, for first beginners, the what they call give it a try. There'll be a number of events like that around the province. Connacht Rugby will be running them in various clubs, and Craig's will be one of them. So that's a great opportunity for parents, or if they want their son or daughter to, if they were interested in rugby, to give them an opportunity and that there to come out and play. And like for all the other nationalities that's now living in the catchment area around Craigs, it's also an opportunity to welcome the Ukrainians and Polish and Brazilians and all the different people that we have living in our midst and that there now. And we'd love to see them all there in Craigs and participating in the game. And it'll give them a sample of rugby, and maybe next season that we'll take it up at mini rugby level.
See, because I suppose really Ireland has become and Roscommon have become, I suppose, a more multicultural society now, and so it's good to see. And I suppose that's people's way of kind of settling into the community and settling into a country. Um, sports like sports like rugby, and I suppose it's an ideal sport for people like that. Well, sport in general is as well, and of course, with the way Craig's is and the people that are involved in Craig's, it's an ideal way of people settling into in Roscommon.
Well, absolutely. Like we have run it for the various nationalities tournaments, both in Gaelic soccer and rugby, both up in Lisnamoulton, out in Dunamon, and various other places. So it's great, and it gives them maybe a bit of the Irish culture in relation to what we're doing here and what's available on their doorstep. And it's an opportunity for, say, families and all to come out for the day. And if you have weather like this, sure, it's only beautiful to see their son or daughter out there playing in the green and Craigs.
That's right, and I suppose you might remember, like yourself and myself, were at it there a good few months ago, where someone like Kieran Malooly, you were there, I was there as well, where the Roscommon Sports Partnership organised a sports day for the Ukrainian kids in the centres around Roscommon. That was a very successful thing, and it went well over the 2 days. And the both parents and the kids really enjoyed it, and they got a sample of the Irish sports, as in hurling and football and camogie and ladies football and things like that, and rugby. So they got a good introduction into all sport, and I think the kids enjoyed it. I know, like we were there and we enjoyed it, and it was lovely to see the kids enjoying themselves when you consider what they had been through. Well, what
Oh,
they come from.
absolutely. And it's lovely for the Irish kids and their families to meet these
Integrate with
people
them.
out at this event as well, and
Mm.
maybe a bit of interaction along the line, and that with them, and encouragement to their son or daughter as well. So it works all rounds, and it maybe brings the community. It's a help to bring the community together, and like that's what I would like to see. But it's there and there and it will be run off in Craig's, and we'll talk more about it maybe in another program.
That's it. And so we'll move on to the other section there. It's a big day for the under-18s there who are in or who are playing Tumor Utherard. You were saying like in the under-18s girls cup final in Claremorris at 2:30 p.m. So that's a big event for both for the kids themselves and also the club. It's one of many finals they're kind of in, or a lot of big occasions for Craigs over the last number of weeks.
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely right there. That it's a great opportunity for our under 18 girls. They will be coming up against the best because they're coming up against nearly two teams that have been amalgamated of Oughterard and Tuam. And they're a very strong team, and they've whipped a lot of players from different other clubs as well. So it's actually more than Tuam and Oughterard. So Craigs will have to come up against that. The Tuam and Oughterard have a number of international players. They refused to play this final during while the internationals were away. Craigs were willing to play it, and we had an available date got in the sports ground for us. So it was unfortunate that the game couldn't go ahead on the day that was fixed in the sports ground for it. But that's the way it is. We have to get on with it now, and the under 18 girls, as you right to say, is down in Claremorris tomorrow, Saturday, 2:30. And we wish all the girls well. We have a number of injuries there, but no matter when you play the competition, you'll have some of the girls missing. So that's the way it is. And I wish all the girls the very best to tomorrow. Give it their best shot. The girls rugby is going very well in all season. They have played exceptionally well, and it's also going very well in the Convent of Mercy. They not alone did they win the senior league under 18s and all this year, but they also won the under 7 tournament at the Connacht under 7 tournament during the week there. So again, that's great, and now they qualify the next week that they're into the Ireland Sevens competition. So that's more promotion for girls rugby, women's rugby. We would hope that we will progress this under 18 side into maybe a senior side in a year or two, that we'll be able to put a senior side together. But we have a lot of, as you rightly said, we have a lot of other activity at youth level going on. We lost out narrowly with our under 16s away to Buccaneers. An absolutely cracker of a game in the Connacht Cup semi-final. Lost out on the narrowest of margins by 3 points. And Craigs were putting on all the pressure at the very end of the game, but just couldn't get over the line. And maybe if a decision or two went their way, they could have pulled it off. But that's I can say now that it was two good teams, two cracking teams, and compliments to the coaches on both sides for the efforts that they have made with the teams and that they're all season. And our under 13s are away to Sligo in a semi-final tomorrow as well on Saturday. And our under 15s away in the cup final on April the 29th. So, we have a lot of good rugby there coming up at youth level over the next 2 weeks. So let's hope that we can pull off some of the wins and that they are in it. There's a lovely sweet under 15 team that defeated Carrick recently, and they're well coached. A lot of work has gone into them, and it's fantastic to see the effort all season put in by the coaches at various levels with the mini rugby and youth teams within Craigs.
That's it, and it's great to see the success at underage, and that breeds success then when they come through the ages, through the age groups and into adults. Because especially for the ladies, because when those players come through, there'll be a ladies team. I suppose in the development stages at that stage, and there'll be a senior team hopefully in the next couple of years, like we've been saying over the last couple of couple of months, and so when those players have come through the underage system, they'll be able to stay with Craigs and play with Craigs at adult level for in the women's game. And of course, with the men's section as well, it's going from strength to strength, and that's indicated in the success at underage level from under 12s upwards.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely, and we've seen that coming through, and it's very important now that that the under 16 team, that they stick with it, and that the coaches bring them along now to the next stage at under 17, and bring through enough of players that we can actually field at that level. Unfortunately, we weren't able to field at under 17s and 18s, and we had to loan some of our players. Went on loan to Buccaneers for this season. So we hope the gym players in that there will come back to us now next season, and that they will play with their own club in Craigs.
And of course, off the field as well, you took part in the Roscommon Easter Parade as well. That must have been great for the kids, and I suppose the club in general. It's nice to kind of show some of the success that you've had throughout the years and throughout the year, and it's lovely for the kids to be part of the parade as well.
Yeah, with a different mixture of age groups, and we had our captain of our first team leading it there with Brian Diffley, and we had the various cups that we won, our junior league cup and our seconds cup as well. So it was nice to be able to display to the general public and the support that we have got from the general public in Roscommon and the surrounding areas, in various draws and the lotto and everything, to show our wares on the day, and an opportunity to thank the community within Roscommon by taking part in the Easter Parade.
That's it, and it was great to see. And we move on from Craigs Rugby Club onto Buccaneers. What's the latest from Buccaneers? And we were saying maybe over the last kind of couple of weeks, Buccaneers were kind of unlucky. They were losing a few games, but did they seem to have turned the corner now? I know it's coming towards the end of the season for them as well.
No, unfortunately, it didn't. Aidan, and they lost out to the playoffs to Old Wesley. They were in a strong position, but as I said on the program here, they lost the last number of games, and they lost again on Saturday against Armagh, and that has meant now that that not alone by losing to Armagh, they have lost out in the top four for the qualifiers. So that means that Buccaneer season for their first AIL team has come to an abrupt end. So again, they were winners of the Connacht Senior Cup, and I suppose that was some consolation there a week ago. But they for a team that looked that they could get further promotion at the beginning of the season, and they went out very strong. But for whatever reason, maybe with injuries or maybe with Connacht players maybe not being available to them, they lost their way in the last 4 or 5 weeks. So hopefully that they can put it together again now for next season, and see some of the shortfalls where they fell off and that there this year. But it's not, they have a lot of good players coming through, and good players coming through at under age level, at under 20s, under 18s, and they have a good structure there. So, and then their thirds won the Ireland Craig Cup away to Galwegians last week. So their thirds ended the season on a high note. Their youths are in a number of finals on Sunday. They play in under 15s, under 16s, under 17s, and 18 and a half. So again, that's a great compliment to the structure that they have at youth level within the club.
That's great. That's great to see, and we'd like to wish them all the best in those games as well. And that takes us on to Carrick and Shannon, and the adult teams and underage structure.
Before you leave Buccaneers, I would like to just congratulate a top McConnell man and a lone rugby player, a Connacht rugby player, and an Irish rugby player in Leo Galvin. The IRFU, in their wisdom, have now decided to award caps to some of the players that played international level but didn't get caps. So I would, Leo worked along with me very closely at Connacht Rugby at IRFU level, a real gentleman and a big, gentle giant, as we would say. I played against him, and I've always enjoyed his company, and I'm absolutely delighted for Leo and his family that he has been awarded with this cap, and he will get it in the World Cup warm-up games against England on the 19th of August. So, in the Aviva Stadium. So that will be a great occasion for Leo Galvin and his family, and congrats to Leo.
And as you said, well deserved as well. So so moving on to Carrick Rugby Club and how things have been going, like with the underage and the adult level.
Well, Carrick has also a player that's going to get a cap as well, and that was a Dr. Hugh Dolan. Now he's originally from Carrick. He was a doctor, qualified as a doctor when he was living in Carrick. His own father was a vet, and some of the rest of the family went on to be veterinary into veterinary practice as well. So Hugh will be awarded a cap. I think he ended up in Dundalk in his latter years, or he moved around a bit. But again, the Carrick and Shannon, it's another honour for the club and for the area that Hugh is getting his cap as well. And again, the Carrick and Shannon, their season has really come to an end, and they had a very successful season. They will be doing they given it a try as well in having a number of novel events and over the summer months. And again, we wish Carrick Club the very best for the future.
And finally, moving on to Sligo Rugby.
Yeah, Sligo again. They finished their season very strong. They won all their last games, so much so that they moved up the table and has come into the fourth place by beating Belfast Harlequins last weekend in Sligo, and now they play UL Bohemians for promotion playoffs. So Sligo have had a great end to the season, and it's a nice way to come good at the very end of the season, and let's hope that they'll go well against UL Bows. And again, they're no more than Buccaneers. They're involved in a lot of youth competitions and youth finals, and they have good structure both in their two schools in both Sligo Grammar and Summerhill. Strong holds for rugby, and also their girls. It was their girls in the sevens from Sligo that the convent of Mercy in Rosfm defeated as well. So both boys and girls are going strong in Sligo as well. So they have a good teams coming through both at boys and girls level within Sligo.
And that's great to see, and we'd like to wish them all the best in the remainder of the season. And that brings us on to the Connacht Rugby section of the show. And so I suppose it's still part of the URC section for them. Obviously, I think their European interests are over at this stage. But what has been happening with in the URC? How did they get on last weekend?
Well, yes, you're correct that their Urban Challenge Cup is over for them this year. But the big prize, what they hope for is that they would get into the Champions Cup next season. They had a great win in Cardiff when nearly a very big, nearly the biggest attendance for any URC game. Within Connacht at the weekend. A great atmosphere, a lovely evening last Saturday evening away to Cardiff, or away in the sports ground against Cardiff. And like Cardiff has always been a difficult team for Connacht. We have lost narrowly against them on a number of times in the sports ground and away. But this time the lads performed extremely well on the pitch, and it was it was great to see, and hopefully now that they can bring that type of game to Glasgow on Saturday. They play Glasgow in the last game of the URC, and that will, if they can get into that level, it may get them into the Champions Cup for next season. There's a lot of things yet to work out, because with other provinces and other nations in both Scotland and Wales, and with Italy and now South Africa involved in it, there's a lot of permutations yet that could go against them. But the best thing is to, always in my book, Aidan, is to keep winning. And if you keep winning and remain at the top, you will have a good chance of qualifying. Now, it was a fantastic end of the season for the URCs, that all four Irish provinces won last weekend. Munster had a fantastic win away to the Stormers. Played one of their probably best games of the season against the Stormers.
That was a vital win for Munster, wasn't it, as well? It was one of those games they needed to win.
Absolutely, a vital game for them, And our game against Glasgow will be a vital game for us. I know we have ended up that we can end up in the qualifiers, but that wouldn't guarantee us that we would get into the Urban Cup. But the Urban Championship Cups is the prestige place. Is to play rugby. It's the one area that you probably would get maybe top players to come to Connacht if they knew that they were getting the exposure playing in the Connacht in the Urban Championship Cup. It's more money for Connacht as well if they got into it. So there's a lot of advantages by playing rugby at the highest level. And Andy Friend will be leaving the club. It's sad in a way when you see some of the coaching staff and the players that would be that was their last home game last weekend against Cardiff, and being involved. Like Andy, Friend has been a great ambassador for rugby, great ambassador for Connacht rugby. And it's just sad to be saying farewell to him in Connacht, but that's the way the professional game is now. Players and coaches move on. Shane Delahunt, a great stalwart, a man that gave it all on the pitch from Burr in County Offaly. He's going back farming, dairy farmer, and that there. You have Kieran Merriman heading off after spending 11 years both for Connacht and for Ireland, and he's heading off to play with Pat Lamb's side in Bristol. So that's the way, and a number of other players there have gone through the system that have given loyal service to Connacht as well.
But I suppose the flip side of that, it is sad to see those players and coaches go when they spend so long at a club and then they move on. It's sad to see those players going. But then I suppose on the other side, then it's exciting to see the players that are coming in, and they can maybe give that something maybe extra, or something different to the club that maybe they didn't have previously, but could make a difference. I'm not saying that about like the players that are leaving weren't good or anything, but sometimes the players come in can offer a different kind of can bring a different quality or a different angle to a performance or something like that. And I suppose when a new manager comes in, a new manager comes new ideas and a new approach as well. And of course that's backed up by, I suppose, the coaching staff that the manager has when he comes in as well. Sometimes that can be the flip side as well.
Absolutely, like you can, like if a coach stays too long, sometimes it gets stale, and bringing in a new team of coaches and players and so on can freshen up a side, and it's very important that they remain, and as you rightly says, they may have new ideas, and hopefully that their new ideas works well for them. And Andy Flynn had a very consistent year this year in the URC, so. And we had a good run of games in the RSC there towards the end, and let's hope that we continue that way against Glasgow. But you're right, like that. It can work at times to your advantage in bringing in new coaches and new players to try and bring a new emphasis in that there within the club in Connacht. So let's hope that the team of new coaches and management works out good for them for next season.
And finally, we move on to the Ladies Six Nations. They were back last weekend, I think, after a weekend off. How did things go for the Ireland ladies team?
Well, I think they were hoping that they would get a result against Italy. They played a lot better, a lot of good rugby, but they're still a very immature, young side, inexperienced side. So, it's going to take them a while to gel together, and they fell off tackles and let Italy probably in for a couple of easy enough tries, but there was a lot of good in it, and let's hope they can take some of that into the game at the weekend. It's going to be an extremely tough game. England has beaten everybody in front of them at this stage, and England and France are the two strong sides. They're way ahead of the other nations. So it's the 2 games left now against England at home in Cork this weekend, and then the travel away to Scotland. So Scotland and ourselves are level pegging at the bottom of the table at this stage. So that would be the game that Ireland would want to target and at least end up with a win there. So to be a nice one to finish off their season and to build on.
That's it, and I think that's what it is. So, would you say that it's kind of fair to say, Adrian, that maybe this Six Nations for this Ireland team, it's more about a rebuilding and development Six Nations rather than they can potentially win it?
Well, that absolutely, that's the way it is, and that's the way it's turning out to be, because a lot of the older players retired from the game, and this is nearly a new crop of players. And as I said on this program before, that unfortunately that the Sevens tournament runs in tandem with it, and you're minus a number of the Irish backs as well. So again, that's an unfortunate fixture situation. But it's an opportunity for other players to put up their hand and to give them an opportunity at that particular level. And you would hope that, we have to be patient. We hope that these players will learn from it, that they'll stick with it, and they stick to the program. There is a good coaching set up there for them at the moment, and I have no doubt that the Irish team will improve. But it will take time. We will have to be patient with them. And I would like to think that the general public should be patient with them as well. Some of the abuse that players get on social media now is very unfair, and nobody puts on an Irish jersey, not to play to their best of their ability. So anybody that goes out there puts their body on the line, and we should give them all the credit and support that we can.
That's it, because do you know, and it's in all sports really that it's about like a player who doesn't go out to play, have a bad performance, but people need to understand that, like you were saying on a previous show as well, that that in fairness that the IRFU are going in the right direction, that they are starting to put, I suppose, proper structures in place now to make it from a developmental point of view. So in the coming years, that will become fruitful, and the players will have more. It'll become a more professional structure, or a better structure for the players to be able to, I suppose, concentrate on that, so that when they come to play for Ireland, that they will be able to compete with the Englands and that. But like, it's a matter of time. It takes time to develop this, and as you say, it's about, I suppose, being patient with the IRFU that are trying to put these structures in place, which takes time as well. And also for, I suppose, the players need to get used to this structure as well, and I suppose how it works and things like that. And from that, then, in a number of years' time, then they'll be better for it, and they'll be better able to compete with other countries then when it comes to Six Nations and even World Cups.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the pathways are being put in place, and we had a very successful trip, as I said, to England with the under-18s, and all this helps, and it's great to see a lot of young girls getting that opportunity from the various provinces, from the various clubs, and encouragement. And it's a sport that's growing as well in numbers, and it will take time. Our playing pool is very small in comparison to what England and France would have, and they're basically nearly full professional sides at this stage. We're just semi-professional, but there is a lot more money going into the women's game from the IRFU at the present time, and let's hope that will be spent in the right way and encourage more girls to get involved in the game.
That's it. It's a step that they're going. It's women's rugby is kind of going in the right direction, and it'll take time, but it'll bear fruit in the coming years, which is great. So, listen, thanks very much, Adrian, for taking the time out to do Rugby View with us, and we look forward to talking to you again next week, and hopefully we'll be talking about a few more wins at underage level next week.
Thank you, Aidan. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks very much. And that was Adrian Leddy from Craig's Rugby Club.